Hey everybody, thanks for stopping by again. Thanks for coming back to my channel and checking out my build. So I wanted to show you something I wanted to do to this that most people probably won't care about if they're only into performance, but stick around, let me show you what I mean. So this is the stock windshield washer bottle, and it normally fits right there, and it was there for a very short time until I put the big gulp on. So as soon as you put that big gulp on, they have you remove it. And it blocks the path of the cold air from the big gulp from getting directly toward the filter. So let me explain to you why I'm wanting to fix this issue of mine. So Rotofab makes a remote windshield washer bottle. In fact, this looks a lot like it. It's almost identical, except that hose port right there and this pressure cap, which I have no idea why they have that because it's not under pressure. But as you can see, I don't have a windshield washer bottle there. That is the intercooler reservoir. So now what? So if you look over here, there's the squirter that goes up to the nozzles, or the hose for the squirters, and it's just sitting there. Now, some people would say, so what? But I live in Oregon, and I've already been caught out in the rain once and glad I had wipers on. It just, to me, it seems like a loose end. You know, this is a street car, and I like to have all the accessories on the car that came with it. And that would include a windshield washer bottle. So Rotofab does make one that goes right in here. It's a long, skinny one. It's black. Looks similar to this, you know, this kind of material, ABS. The problem with that is I may want to go with a separate clutch master reservoir here, and then that would be in the way. So I don't want to spend the money. Plus it was $120. It's all the way over here. The harness for the windshield washer pump is right down there. So then you have to figure something out there. It wasn't what I wanted to do. So there is another solution. Let me show you. So this is a solution from Phastek. There's the original pump off of my tank. And so your fill hose would go here. It's just clear poly. Like I said, it's in the house warming up because it's so cold here. And then this is the remote fill. So what I'm going to do is that is going to go down in there. I'm going to find a nice spot for it. And because the profile is so thin, it'll be nice and out of the way. I'll just run the hose in to the bottle, and the bottle's actually going to be tucked in behind there. I don't even think you're going to see it. So there'll still be a nice air shot from the exhaust side of the big gulp, which is right there, up to the filter. It'll fill this cavity nice still. So let me show you how I'm going to figure out where to put the holes in the side of the box when I have all of this junk in the way. So I got a steel line there. I have the radiator itself. It's very tight, and I can't just hold it up there like that and start drilling holes, because most likely, knowing me, I'll run into a line, or the bolt will be going into the side of the radiator. I have to make sure that the mounting bolt is going to be in a nice clear spot, and I have an idea for that. So I got a bunch of these little magnets from Harbor Freight, and of course you remember this is aluminum, and magnets don't stick to aluminum. You can see it's wanting to fall off, but I can use this to determine where to drill my hole. Let me show you what I mean. So a magnet is now sticking to aluminum. That's because there's a magnet on the other side. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this magnet where the bolt hole is for the remote fill, and that's going to show me where the hole I drill is going to be in relation on this face. so I can make sure that I'm not going to be hitting a pipe or a tube or anything else. So I ended up taking this and putting a little bit of double back tape and actually sticking it on there and shutting the hood, and then looking up through the wheel well to make sure I wasn't going to be hitting the bottom of the hood with this. And then I marked the holes. A little blue mark there. Yeah, that one and that one. I marked the holes, and now I'm going to put the magnet there and see where the magnet falls on the other side. And if they clear, that's where I'm going to put this. So I just temporarily taped the magnets right over the top of the blue mark, centered best I could on the magnet. Now I'm going to locate it on the other side. Alright, so as you can see, there's one of the magnets hanging on the side there. That one I have plenty of room on. I mean, there's just all kinds of room around there, so I'm not worried about that one. The other one, that's really down in the shadow. See it there? Now it's by itself too. Kind of, it's really hard for me to get some light. It actually looks pretty good where it's at too. So I think I'm going to keep those marks. Where'd it go? There it is. I'll get a better look at that with my eye to make sure the hex of the bolt or the nut, whichever way I go with it, is going to fit around there. But I think that's going to work. Alright, so of course the best way to drill is to always remove the piece you're wanting to drill. It wasn't too bad. I mean, only took about 2 minutes to get it out, carefully removing it. So I used an 11mm socket and a box end on the backside to tighten it up. The only thing I'm going to be watching out for is the protrusion of the bolt off the nut when I go to reset the Rotofab back in, to make sure it doesn't run into the radiator or is rubbing on it. I don't want it to vibrate a hole into any line or anything, so I may have to Dremel the back side of that off if I don't have enough clearance. So we'll just have to see. Alright, so we have the reservoir mounted. It's only mounted with these two holes to the big gulp. As you can see, it's very sturdy. The big gulp is actually moving because it's not mounted here. That won't happen until I get the inner liner in. So there's the pump, and there is the goes up to the squirters. Anyway, the other end of this that's similar to this on that side is sitting into a slot from the front bumper and the grill area where the two meet. There's a few slots in there. I just set it in there so the weight is sitting at the bottom. It can't go side to side. It's not going to pull either way, and it's not going to go up and down. And this is actually just holding the whole thing kind of in place. So it's actually very sturdy for the 3 pounds of fluid that's going to be in it. So now it's just a matter of hooking it all up. All right, well, we got it in, and both nuts clear. The one over here is super close, but it's all right. Got everything tight, and we're ready to install the clear hose and run it down to the reservoir. Put the air filter back on, put the wheel well in, and we'll be done. All right, got the tube in. Just need to connect up the other hoses. But I wanted to show you these. If you ever get a chance and see these in the store, buy them. They make great work of opening up those hard plastic blister packs. And they don't look like a lot, but they actually cut through this stuff with no problem. Just cuts it right off. Much better than scissors, or I suppose you could use sheet metal shears. But this is a good kind of in-between. Just a good handy, I don't know where, my mom got them. I don't know where she bought them, but I use them all the time in the shop. Anyway, let's get back to this. Okay, I got some juice in there. Got the motor hooked up. Got this line run. Tied it off there to that hole. And I'll show you where that goes. So I did fill it up. Always make sure you use a clean funnel. Not something you ran oil through, because you don't want oil on your windshield. But I did put this little, cut a piece of the hose that I didn't need and put it there to protect it from that sharp edge, which actually isn't sharp, but I don't want it rubbing on it. So I only filled it that high. I suppose you could fill it up all the way if you wanted. But one thing I noticed when I was filling that with the funnel is you cannot fill it too fast, because that cap there, even though it looks like it vents, it does not vent. If it does vent, it doesn't vent fast enough to keep this from, you know, chugging. It doesn't just laminar flow the fluid down into the bottle and vent out the cap, because if it did, and you went all the way up to the top with the fluid, it would be overflowing out of the cap. So the cap is sealed, at best I can tell. But I'm not going to fill it all the way, because I'm probably not going to use it, but I am going to test it. So I ran that line. It's kind of hard to see. There it is. I ran it along there and underneath there and clipped it in. And I'm going to unclip it and bring it out and run the windshield washer pump to get the fluid all the way up to that point. I'm not going to spray it all over the windshield, but I will get it up to there. All right, well, it's going into the bottle. You can see it squirting there. So we got fluid moving. So that's good. I don't see any leaks down there. That's good. No leaks on the bottle. No leaks on the line. Everything's tied up. Everything should clear the wheel well. All right, we can put it all back together. First I got to get rid of that. So one thing I did notice on this cap, and it looks like it is vented right there, at least this one is, there's no lanyard. So it would be a long way down inside that big gulp if it happens to make it down in there, if I ever lose that. So you got to hold on to it when you're refilling it. That would have been nice if it was up here, but I guess you can't ask for everything. The whole kit was, I don't know, $56 or something. Much cheaper than the one that would have been going over there. And I actually like it better. I like the fill right here. It's right up front. It's out of the way. Doesn't block the air coming up. And definitely doesn't block a future mod that I'll most likely be doing. So, once again, everybody, thanks for coming to my channel. I'm just going to do a simple button up here and close the hood and go inside and eat some breakfast. So, thanks for stopping by. Please like, subscribe, and have a great day.